Our town is getting an airport. The relocation office sends people door to door to measure every house and negotiate compensation. But I wait 3 months, and nobody ever knocks on my door. I find out later that someone deliberately drew the demolition boundary to leave my property out. I storm over to confront Mayor Zheng. His answer? That's just how the plan is. Nothing I can do. My neighbors laugh at me. Good luck living in that dump forever. I say nothing. Instead, I take every penny I have saved for half my life, pull it all out, and take out a loan on top of it. I pull together 10 million yuan. 6 months later, my old house becomes a 10-story building with a sign that reads, Cloud's Edge Hotel. The sign on the door, no entry for non-guests, becomes the most striking sight near the entire airport. The moment news of the airport breaks, our little Anning town is never peaceful again. Compensation payouts, resettlement housing, a brand new future, that's all anyone talks about. White vans stamped with relocation office crawl back and forth on the dirt roads. Workers carry measuring tapes and notebooks, going door to door to measure, record, and negotiate. My name is Marcus Fu. I live at the far east end of town, in a 2-story house that has seen better days. After my parents died young, I have been the only one here. On the first day, the relocation office van drives right past my door without stopping. I figure they must be starting from the west end of town, and haven't gotten to me yet. By the end of the first week, my neighbor Auntie Lee has already reached a deal, reportedly a very nice sum. She can't stop smiling. Every time she sees me, she calls out, Marcus, yours must be coming soon, right? I smile and nod. By the end of the first month, households on the east side start signing agreements one by one. Soon, every wall in town is sprayed with a red demolition mark. Except mine, which stays plain gray and untouched. My stomach starts to drop. 2 more months pass. Most families in town have already moved out. A sense of dread slowly creeps through me. I walk to the town government office and find Mayor Zheng. He's on the phone, and when I push the door open, he barely looks up. What do you want? I step forward. Mayor Zheng, I want to ask about the airport relocation. Why isn't my house included? Mayor Zheng slowly sets down the phone and pulls a large planning map from his drawer. He points at it. See for yourself. I lean in. My heart sinks. The demolition boundary on the map cuts like a blade, running right along the edge of my courtyard wall. My building sits like a forgotten island stranded outside the boundary. I stare hard at that line. My voice shakes a little. What is going on here? Is this a mistake? Mayor Zheng's voice is flat and cold, not a trace of warmth. No mistake. The plan was set this way. There's nothing we can do. I push back. But why is the whole town included but not my house? Mayor Zheng raises his voice, full of official authority. I already told you. This was decided by experts above me. What am I supposed to do? I have work to get back to. He walks straight out. I barely make it home when Auntie Lee is right there, directing movers to load furniture onto a truck piece by piece. She takes one look at my hollow expression and smirks. Marcus, didn't go well? I say nothing. She sees I'm not responding and rolls her eyes. I knew it. Your spot is tricky. They're building an airport. Your house is just sitting on the edge, not in the way of anything. And they'd still have to pay you if they took it. Why would they bother? Another neighbor leans in and sneers. Congrats. You get to spend the rest of your life as the only family left in town guarding that wreck of a house. Nothing but airport around you. The noise alone will drive you crazy. Auntie Lee laughs even harder. Exactly. While we're all settled in brand new apartments in the city, Marcus will be out here sniffing jet exhaust. Their laughter digs into me like needles. But I don't argue. I just slowly lift my head and quietly look at the house I grew up in. The moving trucks roar away. I stand alone on an empty street and take out my phone. Hey Sophie, it's me, Marcus. Sophie's warm voice comes through the line. She sounds puzzled. Marcus, what made you call me? I take a moment. I want to ask you about a loan. Sophie is my best friend from childhood. She studied finance in college and now works as a client manager at a bank in the city. She sounds surprised. A loan? Marcus, what happened to you? I keep my voice steady. Nothing much. I want to renovate the old house. Sophie is even more confused. Renovate? Now? I heard your town is getting an airport. Isn't everyone being relocated? I give her the short version of what happened. My house isn't in the relocation zone. There's a silence on the line. Then Sophie's voice comes back, edged with anger. That's just bullying. How can the planning map possibly be that precise? Cutting around just your house. I stay calm. Whether it's a coincidence doesn't matter anymore. Sophie presses me. So what are you going to do? Just sit there in that old house? I look out the window at the empty land and say, word by word, no, I'm going to tear it down and build something new. Sophie goes quiet for a long time. Then, Marcus, are you sure? This is serious money. I'm sure. How much do you need? I have 200,000 saved from my parents and from working all these years. I want to borrow 300,000 more. 500,000 total. On the other end of the line, Sophie draws a sharp breath. 500,000? Marcus, are you out of your mind? You're just rebuilding a house to live in. Do you really need that much money? I'm not building an ordinary house. I look out toward the massive airport construction site in the distance. That place will soon be full of travelers and business people non-stop. And my property is the closest to the airport, the only private building that will remain. I ask Sophie, what do you think the future looks like for a hotel right next to the new airport? When those words land, Sophie freezes. She's always been sharp. She catches on immediately. A hotel? You're going to open a hotel? Marcus, that's a massive leap. Do you know anything about running a business? Do you have connections? The risk is enormous. Facing her worry, I turn it back on her. Which is riskier? That or holding onto a house nobody wants, sitting there rotting under the noise of planes day after day? Which one scares you more? Sophie still looks worried. But 300,000 is no small number. Using the old house as collateral, it might not be enough, and you have no income proof. Before she finishes, I cut in. I know. That's exactly why I'm calling you. You're the professional. Help me find a way. I know I'm putting her in a tough spot, but I have no other path left. This is the one chance I have to change my life. Sophie lets out a long sigh. Marcus, you're still the same as always, quiet until you're not, and then you say something that stops my heart. Okay, bring your property deed and all your documents to the city tomorrow. I'll go through everything with you, see what options we have. No promises, but I'll do my best. Thank you, Sophie. To lighten the mood, she jokes. Don't thank me yet. Once your hotel is open, just save me a presidential suite, free for life. I answer completely seriously. Deal. The next morning, at first light, I squeeze onto the first bus to the city, carrying all my hope with me. The moment we meet, Sophie is already scribbling through my documents, making call after call, taking me through department after department. When the bank's reviewers see my property deed, the one left outside the demolition boundary, they all look at me like I've lost my mind. From where they sit, this island property surrounded by an airport is a risk that is completely off the charts. I explain my business plan again and again, but they look at me, this calm, quiet young man, and their eyes are full of doubt. During that stretch of time, there are several moments when I feel like I'm about to break. Sophie keeps me going. She not only helps me sharpen the business plan, she walks me through how to talk to the bank's people, and even uses her own personal connections, taking the branch manager out to dinner. A week later, just when I'm nearly out of hope, Sophie calls. On the other end, her voice is tired, but lit up with excitement. Marcus, it's approved. I can't hold back. Really? Really, she says, excited. 300,000, funds within a week. I gave the branch manager my personal guarantee, pushed your project as this year's priority innovation pilot, and that's what finally convinced him. I hold the phone and can't speak. Tears come without warning. Sophie, thank you. Sophie laughs and says, you big dummy, why are you being so formal with me? I promise her, once the money comes through, dinner's on me. She laughs. Skip the dinner. Just get your hotel built. I'm waiting for that presidential suite. I hang up and walk to the window, watching the massive airport construction site already rumbling to life outside. 1 week later, my phone buzzes. 300,000 yuan has been deposited to your account. I stare at that string of zeros and take a long, slow breath. 500,000 in total. Not just everything I own. It's every chip I have. I say to myself, Marcus, there is no way back. And I answer myself, win. Only win. The day after the money arrives, I contact the best architectural firm in the city and hire the most reputable construction crew in town. The crew's foreman is Uncle Zhao, a straight-talking man. He takes one look at the old house and scratches his head. Marcus, you really want to tear this down and start over? Yes, Uncle Zhao. He follows up. And what do you plan to build? Because I'll tell you, with the whole area turning into airport, living in a regular house here isn't going to be comfortable. I pull out a blueprint. Uncle Zhao, don't worry. I already had it designed. Uncle Zhao takes the blueprint, glances at it once, and his eyes go wide. Good lord. 4 stories, a basement, and a viewing terrace? You're building yourself a mansion. I answer calmly. Not a mansion, a hotel. Uncle Zhao's jaw drops. A hotel? The workers behind him are just as stunned. Same look on their faces as those bank reviewers. Uncle Zhao can't help himself. Marcus, you're serious? Out here in the middle of nowhere? I point at the dusty construction site in the distance. This won't be the middle of nowhere for long. That right there is going to be the busiest spot in all of Anning Town. Uncle Zhao looks at the certainty in my eyes and goes quiet. He stares at the blueprint for a long moment. Then he looks up and checks the location of my property. Something shifts in his eyes. Then he slaps his knee. I get it now. Marcus, your brain is something else. This is getting there first. He gets excited. Everyone thinks this spot is worthless, but if you actually build a hotel here, this place becomes gold. People get off a plane, they're tired, they're worn out. Who doesn't want a place to rest right away? Your hotel is the first thing they see when they open their eyes. I'm a little surprised Uncle Zhao catches on so fast. I ask, Uncle Zhao, will you take the job? Uncle Zhao thumps his chest without hesitation. Of course I'll take it. Why wouldn't I? A job this interesting. You'd search a long time to find one. Don't worry. Whatever the blueprint says, that's exactly what I'll build. Clean, solid, top to bottom. The day the bulldozer rolls into the yard, it's loud. Neighbors who haven't left yet come running to watch. When they see the courtyard that held all my childhood memories collapse under the bulldozer's iron arm, they gasp. Marcus has completely lost it. A perfectly fine house just tore it down. What is he thinking? I heard he brought a lot of money. Wants to build some fancy place. Auntie Lee stands there with her arms crossed and sneers. A fancy place? I think he's just got more money than sense. And when he's done, living alone in that big place, isn't he going to be scared at night? Someone else chimes in. Exactly. No neighbors anywhere around him. Like living in a graveyard. Too proud for his own good going up against Mayor Zheng like that. Nothing good is coming of that. I tune out every word of it and stand in the rubble, watching the crew work. It doesn't take long before the noise draws Mayor Zheng to the scene. He stays in his car, rolls down the window, and watches from a distance. He clearly didn't expect that instead of crying and begging, I've stirred up something this big. Then Mayor Zheng calls out from the window. Fu, I walk over. Something you need? His tone is a challenge. What are you doing? Renovating the house. He presses on. Renovating means leveling the whole thing? This is a full rebuild. Do you have your approvals? I do. Mayor Zheng didn't expect everything to be in order. His face tightens. He throws the documents back at me. His voice carries a warning. I'm telling you, don't push it. The airport project is a major government priority. If you interfere with construction or build anything out of code, don't say I didn't warn you. I collect my documents and look him straight in the eyes. Don't worry. Everything I do is within what the law allows. I won't get in anyone's way. and I ask that no one get in mine. Mayor Zheng looks thrown off by how firm I am. He lets out a heavy grunt and speeds away. I know he came here to warn me and to test me. In the days that follow, I'm at the construction site almost every day. The building's frame rises on the open land at a pace you can actually see with your eyes, climbing higher day by day. The first month, the foundation and basement are done. The second month, the main structure is topped off. Finally, when the last load of concrete is poured onto the fourth floor roof, Uncle Zhao sets off a string of firecrackers in excitement. I stand on the rough concrete of the rooftop terrace, looking out at the land below. In the distance, the outline of the airport grows clearer by the day. My hotel and the airport seem to be running a silent race. Who will be ready first? On this very day, I'm on site going over the exterior details with the designer when a convoy of enforcement vehicles comes screaming in. The doors open. Over a dozen people step out, wearing uniforms from different departments. Leading them is a middle-aged man. Mayor Zheng walks just behind him wearing a faint smirk. The man's voice is sharp and hard. Who is in charge here? I step forward. I am. He flashes his badge. We are the Joint Enforcement Team. We've received complaints that there are serious code violations here, major safety hazards, and environmental violations. My stomach drops. I know trouble has arrived. Mayor Zheng stands to the side and says nothing, but his gloating eyes say everything. I face them calmly. All our permits are legal. Our work fully meets national standards. Legal or not isn't for you to decide. Inspect everything. Go over every inch. Don't miss a corner. His team fans out immediately, flooding my site. Some check fire safety, some measure noise levels, some collect air samples, some flip through our construction logs. Uncle Zhao and the workers are stunned. They want to push back, but I hold them off. Let them look, because I know exactly what this is. Mayor Zheng's payback. The more pressure there is, the more I cannot afford to lose my head. The whole afternoon, the site is locked in a standstill. The harassments keep coming. These rebar spacings look off. Get a measuring tape. Your dust control is not up to standard. That's a fine. Where's the food service health permit? Let me see it. Mayor Zheng keeps leaning over to whisper something in the man's ear, and the two of them keep shooting hostile looks my way. I stay quiet throughout, using my phone to record their every move and every face clearly. By the time the sun is almost down, they have turned the site inside out. Finally, they huddle together, and the middle-aged man delivers his verdict. After a thorough inspection this afternoon, your site is largely up to code. He clearly hates saying those words. My heart finally unclenches. Because I knew. From the moment I decided to build this hotel, I made every detail airtight. I hired the best construction supervisor, required a compliance certificate for every batch of building materials, and followed the blueprint exactly every step of the way. My goal was to build something nobody could find fault with. Mayor Zheng looks like he just bit into something sour. He clearly didn't expect someone my age to be this airtight. But then the man shifts his tone. However, taking into account that your site is right next to a major government priority project, given the special circumstances, to ensure everything is absolutely secure, we are ordering you to suspend work for 1 week for a full self-inspection. Uncle Zhao is the first to snap. On what grounds? We have 0 violations. What gives you the right to stop us? The man's face goes stern. This is an order. Refuse and we revoke your construction permit. But I look at that smug, slick face of his and I suddenly smile. Mayor Zheng, I have the direct numbers of the heads of the City Housing Authority, the Fire Bureau, and the Environmental Bureau. I also just sent the video I recorded to a friend of mine. He works for a media outlet at the provincial level. If I tell them everything that happened here this afternoon, what do you think happens? I'm just an ordinary person trying to protect my home. No power, no connections. All I can do is use this clumsy method to protect myself. His smile freezes on his face. He stares at me, eyes full of disbelief. He never could have imagined that someone like me, in his eyes a weak, easy target, a nobody, had a move like this waiting. The middle-aged man senses the shift, walks over quickly. Mayor Zheng, what do you think we should? Mayor Zheng, seeing this, glares at me hard, jaw tight. Let him keep building. He turns without looking back and gets in the car, taking his so-called enforcement team with him as they all scramble away. A cheer breaks out across the site. Uncle Zhao and the crew all give me a big thumbs up. Marcus, that was unreal, but only I know the truth. What I said back there was half real, half bluff. I did record the video, but the media friend, I made that up. I was gambling. Gambling that Mayor Zheng had a guilty conscience and couldn't afford the exposure. I won the bet, but I also know he won't let this go. I look out at the city lights in the distance and take out my phone. Hey, Sophie? I think I've stirred up some serious trouble. Sophie listens as I walk her through the whole afternoon. When I finish, she's quiet for a long time. I check. Sophie, you still there? Her voice sounds worn out, but steady. I'm here, Marcus, don't panic. I'm not panicking. I just need to know what to do next. Sophie thinks it through. Going head to head with him on his own turf will only hurt you. We need to change the approach. What approach? Sun Tzu said, win with discipline, strike with surprise. You have every permit in place, you're fully above board, that's your solid foundation. Mayor Zheng keeps looking for something to use against you and finds nothing, so he's forced to fight dirty. What we need to do is strike from somewhere he never sees coming. I listen quietly as Sophie lays it all out, and my racing thoughts slowly settle into focus. So where do we strike? Sophie answers, word by word. The airport, the one currently under construction. Anning International Airport itself. I blink. She keeps going. What is your hotel's biggest advantage going to be? Its location, completely one of a kind. kind, zero distance from the airport. So from this moment on, you can't keep your focus locked on this one little corner of Anning Town, and you definitely can't keep obsessing over a small-time bully like Mayor Zhang. You need to lift your game up to the same level as the airport project itself. Find a way to make the airport project team see you as one of their own. Sophie's words hit me like lightning, tearing through the fog in front of me. I finally understand. The only reason Mayor Zhang can push me around is because in his eyes, I'm nothing but a lone individual with no backing. But if I can tie myself to something as massive as that airport, Mayor Zhang will think twice before he makes another move. But how do I do that? I admit the difficulty. The airport is a joint priority project of the provincial and city governments. The people in charge are high-ranking officials. There's no way I can get near them. Sophie actually laughs. Who said anything about approaching senior officials? Marcus, have you forgotten what your advantage is? My advantage? What advantage? Sophie dives in. Your site is the only one in all of Anning Town, besides the airport site itself, with a large crowd of workers on it. How many workers are on that airport site? Thousands at least. Where do they eat? Where do they sleep? Where do they buy things? From what I know, to hit their deadlines, the site runs on a closed management system. The workers' daily life is honestly pretty miserable. Very limited options. And you're right next door. The moment she says it, I get it. You mean I should go after their business? Sophie's voice carries a spark of excitement. It's more than just business. This is your best way into the airport project. Use your site to open a small temporary service area, a small shop, an open-air food stall, maybe even an outdoor movie screen. Low investment, but it will immediately solve the most pressing daily problems for those workers. What you're offering isn't just products. It's convenience. It's care. When thousands of workers all feel grateful to you, how do you think the project leadership will see you? They'll see you as someone with vision, someone with backbone, a genuine partner, an ally who helps keep their workers settled and their operation running smoothly. Once that happens, your hotel won't just be a lonely building anymore. It becomes part of the airport project's support system. Will Mayor Zhang dare come after you then? Will he dare go up against the whole airport project? I grip the phone, shaking with excitement, speechless for a long moment. Sophie, you're a genius. Sophie laughs. I'm not the genius. You gave me the inspiration. Anyone who came up with the idea of building a hotel next to an airport was never going to be the slow one. Then she adds, move on this fast. Get it done before Mayor Zhang makes his next move. Get our pieces in place. What do I need to do? Go find Uncle Zhao. He has the crew and the skills. Putting up a temporary structure and running a food stall is nothing for him. For supplies, go directly to the wholesale market in the city. I'll give you a few contacts, all my clients, all reliable. Most importantly, keep your prices fair, keep everything clean. We're not here for a quick profit, we're here for people's trust. I hang up feeling every part of me suddenly alive. All the exhaustion and confusion from before, gone. In its place, a fire and a hope I've never felt before. I find Uncle Zhao that same night and lay out my idea. He slaps his knee. Now that's a plan! I've been feeling sorry for those airport boys for a while. Eating cafeteria food every single day. They're so bored of it they can't stand it. We set up a food stall, throw in some cold beer and barbecue skewers. They're going to go crazy for it. Uncle Zhao thumps his chest. Marcus, trust me. Leave this to me. Tomorrow I bring the crew and clear the space. 3 days and we're open. And Uncle Zhao delivers. 3 days later, a massive bare-bones food area built with steel pipes and corrugated metal panels takes shape. I name it the pit stop. Fuel for the workers and fuel for me. Meanwhile, Mayor Zhang's people have been watching from the shadows. They see us putting up a food stall instead of the hotel and can't figure it out. On opening day for the pit stop, I put together a small ceremony, writing big characters in red paper and posting them at the entrance. First 3 days, half price on all food and drinks. I also have Uncle Zhao send a few workers over to hand out flyers at the airport site entrance. Evening comes, the sky still half light, when the end of shift bell rings. Hundreds and hundreds of workers pour out through the gate like a wave. Most of them are coated in dust, exhausted to the bone. When they see our side blazing with lights and catch the smell of grilling meat and stir-fried drifting through the air, they stop dead. Someone calls out, "What's that place over there? Why is it so busy? Looks like some kind of restaurant, something called the Pit Stop." Someone says, "Let's go check it out." The first customer is a young guy. Still looks like a kid. "Hey, is it really half price here?" I smile. "Really?" He orders, "Give me a twice-cooked pork rice bowl, and 2 eggs on the side." "Coming right up." I head into the kitchen myself, and in no time at all, I set a steaming, heaping bowl in front of him. He stares at the mountain of pork on top, eyes wide. Before long, a second customer arrives, then a third, then more. Half an hour later, the pit stop is packed. People cluster in groups of 3 or 4, ordering dishes and cases of beer. Every bit of pressure built up on the job site all day now releasing into laughter and noise. What was once a silent, empty night is set on fire by this explosion of life. Uncle Zhao sits at a table with his crew, faces flushed red from drinking. The first step of my plan is a success. In the days that follow, the pit stop keeps getting busier, becoming the one place of comfort and joy in the workers' grinding daily grind. One night, while people are eating, the workers at the table start to frown, because it's obvious these few people who just walked in are looking for trouble. I step out from the kitchen, untie my apron, and ask calmly, "What can I get you gentlemen?" Zheng Chang looks me up and down. His eyes are all aggression. "You the owner? We're not here to eat. We're here to collect protection money." He holds up 5 fingers. "You want to run a business in Anning Town? You play by our rules, this much every month." Before I can say a word, a massive man at a nearby table shoots to his feet. He's a subcontractor from the airport site. "Foreman Zhang here almost every day." He rumbles in a deep voice. "Who are you people?" The workers who are eating are already scowling, clearly seeing these people for exactly what they are. I step out from the kitchen, untie my apron and ask calmly, "What can I get you?" Jing Qiang looks me over, eyes full of menace. You the owner? We're not here to eat, we're here to collect. He holds up 5 fingers. Want to do business in Anning Town? You follow our rules. This much every month. Before I say a word, a massive man at a nearby table rises to his feet. He's a subcontractor from the airport site. Foreman Zhang, here nearly every day. Foreman Zhang rumbles in a low, heavy voice. What are you people doing here? Coming here to cause trouble? Zheng Qiang gives him a sideways look full of contempt. Who asked you? Stay out of grown folks' business, or we'll deal with you too. Foreman Zhang just laughs. Without a word, he picks up an empty beer bottle from the table and squeezes. With a sharp crack, the glass shatters in his bare hand. At that sight, the smirks on Zheng Qiang and his crew freeze solid. Then from every direction, dozens of equally built workers stand up. Some are holding knives. Some grab stools, not one of them says a word. They simply and silently close in around Zheng Qiang and his men from all sides. These workers come from every corner of the country, hardened by years on job sites. They may not have fancy educations, but they live by a simple, unshakable code. I fed them well and kept it cheap, so they stand up for me without hesitation. Zheng Qiang and his boys are used to pushing around the quiet, harmless locals. They have never faced anything like this. Zheng Qiang shouts, all bark and no bite. What do you think you're doing? I'm warning you. My uncle is Mayor Zheng. Foreman Zhang spits on the ground. Mayor Zheng's your uncle. What's that make your dad, the emperor? Get out of here before we move. Zheng Qiang tries to spit out a few more threats, but sees the circle growing tighter and completely folds. He bolts with his boys, half stumbling over each other, yelling, let's go! A roar of laughter bursts through the crowd. I watch Zheng Qiang's pathetic retreat, then look back at all these workers who stood up for me without being asked, and feel a wave of warmth rising in my chest. I walk over and bow deeply to Foreman Zhang. Zhang, and everyone here, thank you. Foreman Zhang waves it off like it's nothing. Thank us for what? We just can't stand that kind of scum. Boss Fu, this place is under our protection now. Anyone who comes after you again answers to every single one of us. The moment those words land, the entire room responds as one. That's right. Answers to all of us. In that moment, I stand in the middle of the crowd looking at face after face, simple, honest, real, and the feeling is beyond words. Meanwhile, from a distance, Mayor Zheng watches his own nephew get chased away like a dog, trembling with rage. He is starting to realize this situation has slipped out of his hands, and that I, the person he never once took seriously, the orphan he looked right through, have grown wings he never saw coming. Not far away, my 4-story building stands complete, waiting only for its outer finish. I have already known for a long time what I will call it, Cloud's Edge Hotel. I make myself a quiet promise. Everyone who ever looked down on me will have to look up just to see where I am. After Zheng Qiang and his crew slink away, the energy inside the pit stop reaches a peak it has never hit before. Foreman Zhang slaps a stack of cash on the table. Boss Fu, if you think we're not worth your time, take it back. We helped you not because we wanted something from you. We helped you because you're a young man who dared to stand up to those people. That takes guts, and we respect that. I can't refuse them, so I take it. But I know what I've really gained is worth far more than any amount of money. What I've gained is people's loyalty. Word reaches the Anning Airport Construction Authority quickly. At first, they're alarmed. Thousands of workers gathering at an uncontrolled private location is a major security concern in their eyes. Apparently, the project office holds an emergency meeting that same night. Someone proposes shutting the pit stop down entirely and forcing all the workers back into the closed site. The construction head pushes back hard. If we lock them in by force, the tension just keeps building until something blows. After a long back and forth, a compromise emerges. Instead of treating it as a threat, why not turn it into a controlled partner? Not long after, an SUV bearing the Anning Airport Construction Authority plate pulls up to my site. A man in his 30s steps out and walks straight toward me, politely but directly. Are you Mr. Fu, the owner? I look at him carefully. I am. He extends his hand. Hello, my name is Director Qin. I'm the Deputy Director of Logistics for the airport project. Could I have a few minutes of your time? I hesitate, but ultimately agree, and we sit down at an empty table inside the pit stop. I pour him a cold tea. Director Qin, what can I do for you? He smiles warmly. Mr. Fu, relax. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm here to talk business. I blink. Business? Director Qin adjusts his glasses and gets straight to it. Yes, after careful consideration, our leadership unanimously agrees. Your pit stop has made a genuinely positive contribution to the smooth progress of our project. We are truly grateful that you have given our workers a place like this. I am completely caught off guard. I had braced myself for another confrontation. Director Qin reaches into his briefcase and pulls out a document. We would like to sign a formal cooperation agreement. Our authority officially designates your pit stop as Anning International Airport's designated Service Zone Number 1. We will provide you with an official plaque and a monthly operating subsidy. We have only one requirement. My heart starts racing. What requirement? Director Qin looks at me, eyes completely sincere. Guarantee food safety, keep prices stable, make sure the workers eat well and eat happy. Mr. Fu, we know your current prices leave almost no profit. The subsidy is there so you can keep doing this long term. You hold down the rear for us and we can focus on building. I look at the agreement on the table. I look at the word cooperation printed on it. My eyes start to sting. Sophie's strategy, that brilliant move to win with surprise, has played out in a way I never could have imagined. I'm not just an ally of the airport project now. I'm their officially recognized partner. I agree. I pick up the pen and sign. Director Qin puts the agreement away with a satisfied smile. Mr. Fu, it's a pleasure. From now on, if there's ever anything you need or anyone gives you trouble, call me anytime. I see Director Qin off and immediately call Sophie. Sophie, we did it. Sophie laughs on the other end. I knew you would. Marcus, remember this. When you can offer people value they simply cannot turn down, you stop being someone people step on, and you become someone everyone wants on their side. From now on, your game is on a whole new level. And sure enough, the very next day, a brand new blue sign goes up at the most visible spot on the pit stop, with 2 lines of large text: Anning International Airport Project Designated Service Zone, authorized by the Anning Airport Construction Authority, Logistics Division. That sign is like a general's battle standard in ancient times. The moment it goes up, the whole energy of the pit stop shifts. Workers look at that sign and stand a little taller. Coming here is no longer just eating and drinking. It's an officially recognized benefit. And just like that, I go from a controversial outsider to a businessman with full government backing. I can feel Mayor Zheng's eyes, always watching, pulling back noticeably after that sign appears. For at least the week that follows, not a single incident. The site and the pit stop enjoy a rare calm. But I know this is only the quiet before the storm, because someone like Mayor Zheng never just lets things go. And sure enough, trouble comes creeping back a week later in a way I didn't see coming. One morning, old Li, the truck driver who delivers pork to me, shows up looking miserable. Boss Fu, I'm sorry, but today's delivery might not make it. My stomach lurches. What happened, old Li? He lights a cigarette, takes a long drag, and sighs. Don't even ask. I went to pick up the goods before dawn, and halfway here the town's transport authority pulls me over. They say I'm in violation. They want to impound the truck and hit me with a fine. My load isn't even half the legal limit. I argue with them, and they come back with a 10,000 yuan fine, or they hold the truck for a month. My heart drops completely. This is no coincidence. This is Mayor Zheng's new move. He can't come at me directly anymore, so he's going after my supply chain. Old Li adds helplessly. And it's not just me. This morning, trucks bringing vegetables, oil, rice, multiple drivers, all stopped at different checkpoints, all with different made-up excuses. Emissions not up to standard. Whatever they can think of. Fines and impounds one after another. Now every driver in town who supplies you, not one of them dares make a run to your place anymore. They're all scared, pulling the rug right out from under me. The pit stop burns through massive amounts of ingredients every day. Cut the supply line and it shuts down within 2 days. By midday, the shortage is already showing. Several dishes workers want are unavailable. They all say they understand, but I can see it in their eyes. Disappointment. I feel the urgency rising in my chest. I call Director Chin immediately and explain everything. Director Chin erupts on the phone. This is outrageous, absolutely unacceptable. This is interfering with the airport project's normal operations. He promises to confront the town immediately, but an hour later he calls back, defeated. Mr. Fu, I talked to them. They smiled and agreed to fix it right away, but their people on the ground are playing along to his face and ignoring him behind his back. The roadblocks are still happening. This is local protectionism, their own internal network. We're the construction authority. We have no direct jurisdiction over local government. These people are playing games and stalling us. It seems like counting on anyone else is not going to work. I have to find my own way through. I dial Sophie right away. Sophie, I need a favor. Do you still have those wholesale market contacts you gave me? Sophie comes back immediately. Of course. What's going on? I walk her through Mayor Zheng's move and the bind I'm in. Sophie is quiet for a few seconds. That's ruthless. He's trying to back you into a corner. Marcus, what's your plan? Sourcing from the city, that's a long haul. The cost is going to jump significantly, and you don't have a truck. I can rent one, or buy a used one. The extra cost doesn't scare me. The subsidy Director Chin provides is enough to cover it. The most important thing is that I need to own my supply line. I refuse to have anyone's hand around my throat again. Sophie's voice carries real respect. Good. That's the spirit. That's you. Now listen, don't worry about the truck. I have a client in the used vehicle business. I'll have him find you something solid and reliable. I'll handle the paperwork. And I'll front the money. Don't stress about it. I'll also reach out to the market and make sure they hold the best stock for you, at the best wholesale price. Marcus, all you need to remember is this. Anning Town is a small pond. Mayor Zheng is a big fish in it, but take him out of that pond and he's nothing. What you need to do is plant your roots in the open sea. Sophie's words hit me like lightning. I had been so focused on how to fight him on his own ground, when I could simply go around him and build on a much bigger stage. 2 days later, a worn blue pickup truck pulls up to my site. Sophie has driven it over herself and puts the keys in my hand. You do have your license? I answer confidently. Of course. Got it in college. Just haven't driven in a while. Sophie smiles. It's a tough truck, just drive it. She opens the cargo bed, completely loaded, and laughs. I swung by the market on my way here and picked up your first batch of supplies. Check the quality. I look at that truckload of fresh ingredients. I look at Sophie, dusty from the road. Something tightens in my throat. Sophie. She immediately puts a hand on my shoulder. All right, enough of that. Start unloading. The workers are waiting to eat, and when your hotel opens, just save me a few presidential suites. That evening, the pit stop serves a fuller spread than ever before. When the workers find out I drove dozens of kilometers to the city and back myself to bring them this food, every single one of them is stunned. Foreman Zhang walks up to me holding a bowl of liquor, face flushed red with emotion. Boss Fu, in my whole life I haven't bowed down to many people. You're one of them. For what you did, we're with you. The pit stop is home to all of us. Anyone who touches our home answers to us. Hundreds of workers shout in unison. Anyone who touches our home answers to us. In this moment, I know Mayor Zheng's plan has completely backfired. He didn't break me. He tied me closer to these workers than ever. From the day I had my own truck and independent supply line, the pit stop is on solid ground. I pour every bit of my energy back into the hotel construction. The designer Sophie found is exceptional. The modern, minimal style style he designed for the hotel makes it look, against the backdrop of rubble and construction, like a building that has been dropped in from the future into this patch of earth. Meanwhile, at Director Chin's suggestion, I open a small convenience store, stocking cigarettes, snacks, and everyday supplies. I also bring in a few washing machines for laundry service. The pit stop has become a fully functional mini-community, solving every practical problem in the workers' lives, and through the word of those workers my name spreads through the entire airport project. Everyone knows there's a young owner named Marcus Fu right next door. One afternoon I'm going over the accounts at the pit stop when Director Chin walks in with a small group. At the front is a man in his mid-40s, with two younger people at his side, one holding a notepad, one a camera. Director Chin makes the introduction warmly. Mr. Fu, let me introduce you. This is the head of project development from Southern Airlines headquarters, Mr. Chen. He's here to do a preliminary survey for future airline operations at the airport. Something stirs in me. I stand and reach out my hand. Mr. Chen, great to meet you. Mr. Chen takes my hand with a polished smile. Mr. Fu, I've heard a lot about you. Director Chin has been singing your praises all the way here. I quickly deflect. Director Chin is too kind. Mr. Chen gets right to it. We just finished a tour of the airport site, and we couldn't help noticing your building. Very striking design. Director Chin tells us it's a hotel about to open. Is that you? It is. Mr. Chen doesn't hesitate. Could you give us a tour? Of course. I set down the accounts book and lead them toward the hotel. Along the way, Mr. Chen asks me many questions, and my answers are steady and clear. When I lead them into the hotel lobby, still mid-renovation, every one of them is struck silent. From here, you can see the tower cranes on the airport site working in the distance, and it doesn't take much imagination to see that very soon, silver planes will be taking off and landing where those cranes now stand. The visual impact is unlike anything else. Mr. Chen shakes his head in genuine admiration. Remarkable, Mr. Fu. You saw the future value of this when everyone else had their eyes on compensation money. The whole time, his assistant is clicking away with a camera. We make our way up to the rooftop viewing terrace, and standing here, the entire airport construction site spreads out below. Mr. Chen looks out at the horizon and speaks slowly. Our airline's crew members need rest accommodation in every city they land in. Our standards for partner hotels are very high. Safety, privacy, convenience, no exceptions. Your hotel has an unmatched geographical advantage. It is the closest building to the airport, closer even than the staff dormitories we've been planning. He turns and looks at me, eyes bright with calculation. Mr. Fu, once your hotel opens, would you be interested in becoming Southern Airlines' designated crew layover hotel at Anning Airport? My heart slams in my chest. A long-term agreement with an airline means the most stable, highest quality guests before the hotel even opens. This is everything I have dreamed of. I hold down the rush of emotion and answer, absolutely. Mr. Chen nods, satisfied. Good. Once the hotel is officially complete, we will send a professional team to conduct an evaluation, and if it passes, we'll sign a strategic partnership agreement. Thank you, Mr. Chen. He reaches into his pocket and hands me his card. Stay in touch. After Mr. Chen and his team leave, I stand alone on the rooftop, the wind at my face, feeling like none of this can be real. Just as I'm about to head downstairs, something catches the corner of my eye. I catch a glimpse of a car parked at the far end of a dirt road. It's Mayor Zheng's car. He's sitting inside, and there's someone next to him. Mayor Zheng seems to be pointing at my hotel, saying something. I stay calm and walk downstairs. I send Sophie a message. Look someone up for me. Then I pull out my phone on the rooftop and zoom in. I snap a blurry shot of the two men's profiles. I follow up. The man in the suit sitting next to Mayor Zheng. I want everything on him. The more detail, the better. Sophie replies almost instantly. Trouble? I write back. Might be the real kind. I put down my phone. I walk to the entrance of the construction site and find Uncle Zhao. Uncle Zhao, I need a favor. He answers right away. Marcus, just say the word. I explain. Find someone to make me a sign. Best wood, hand-carved. Uncle Zhao tilts his head. What does it say? I pull out a pen and paper and write 8 characters, stroke by stroke, no entry for non-guests. Uncle Zhao stares at it for a moment, then breaks into a grin. Got it. Sending a message to certain people. I'll find the best carpenter in town right now. I'll make sure it's done perfectly. 3 days later, a sign carved from a single piece of rosewood stands at the most visible spot at the entrance of my hotel construction site. The moment it goes up, everyone notices. Workers passing by on their way to the pit stop and stare. Then they smile. That knowing smile. They all understand exactly who this sign is meant for. And of course, Mayor Zheng sees it too. He knows exactly who non-guests means. Him and his mystery guest. This is my most direct way of saying it. You are not welcome to snoop around my turf. That same evening, Sophie calls. Found him. His name is Victor G. He's the owner of YU Capital. His specialty is hunting down high-value projects with weak spots or legal disputes, then forcing a low-price buyout, repackaging them, and flipping them for massive profit. The profits are enormous. Over the years, the people he's destroyed, families ruined, lives wrecked. There's no shortage of them. Every word Sophie says sinks my heart a little deeper. How does he end up connected to Mayor Zheng? Sophie answers immediately. I checked the business registry. An investment company under Victor G's name partnered with Mayor Zheng's own brother last month to register a new company, Anning Airside Services Limited. Sophie then asks, want to guess where the registered address is? The moment I hear that, something explodes in my head. My property. Sophie's voice goes cold. Exactly. The address of your land. Everything becomes clear. Mayor Zheng never had any intention of leaving me in peace. He drew the demolition boundary around around my property specifically to keep this land. He knew it would rise in value, so he had his brother team up with Victor G, planning to pocket this land for themselves. My building a hotel here is blocking their path, so they'll do everything in their power to drive me out and turn my hotel into their hotel. All those dirty little tricks before, that was just the appetizer. Now the real predator, Victor G himself, has entered the game. I ask Sophie, worry creeping into my voice, what will they do? Sophie replies, Victor G's playbook has 3 moves. First, smear your reputation, drag your name through the dirt until everyone sees you as a problem, make your partners doubt you. Second, litigation, hit you with bogus charges to drain your energy and your money. Third, pulling the rug out from under you. He goes after your cash flow, your people, until you collapse from within. Once he's worn you down enough, he shows up playing the savior. He offers you an insulting price you can't refuse, and buys everything you have. I listen to Sophie's analysis, a long silence. Then I finally speak. I understand. If he wants to play, then I'll play until the very end. Sophie's voice fills with worry. Marcus. Sophie, I say, keep watching Victor G and every move that new company makes. I want to know his plan at every step. Also, I'm going to push the Southern Airlines deal forward as fast as I can. I need a powerful, official ally at my back. And my hotel has to open as fast as possible. Once I start generating cash flow, I can outlast him. I say it all in one breath. Sophie lets out a long sigh. Marcus, you've really grown up. I look out the window at the no entry for non-guest sign. I had no choice. This world doesn't care about tears. If you want to survive, you have to become a harder fighter than your enemy. Victor G's attack comes faster and harder than I expected. Overnight, local forums across Anning Town and several city-based social media accounts are flooded with harsh, carefully worded articles. The headlines are designed to shock. The illegal cancer next to the airport. Who gave him the right to defy city planning? Where did a young man get $500,000? The hidden truth behind Cloud's Edge Hotel. Safety warning. A hotel less than 300 feet from the runway could be a deadly risk to future flights. In these articles, I'm painted as a greedy, shadowy figure willing to endanger the public for profit. They hint that my loan is dirty, even suggesting backroom deals with the bank and airport. Sophie and Director Chin are dragged into it by implication. The articles spread like a virus. People in Anning Town were already jealous and curious about me. Now they're buzzing. See, how does a kid like that pull this off? Someone's backing him for sure. Well, now it's blown up. Let's see how he gets out of this one. Auntie Lee is practically glowing. She shares the articles in the neighborhood group chat and adds her own spin. This is what happens when someone rises above their station. Disaster follows. The backlash reaches the Anning Airport Construction Authority fast. Director Chin calls me right away, his voice tight with urgency. Marcus, have you seen those articles online? The leadership here is taking this very seriously. There's a lot of pressure. My voice stays calm. I've seen them, Director Chin. Don't worry, I'll handle it. The truth speaks for itself. I hang up. Before I can even catch my breath, Uncle Zhao storms up to me, furious. Marcus, this has gone too far. What happened, Uncle Zhao? He fires back. Some company from the city, Redfield Construction, just sent people to our site asking for my senior workers by name. They're offering double pay with full benefits. A few of the younger guys are already thinking about it. My stomach drops. I find the workers who are wavering. I don't yell at them. I just look at them. Steady and quiet. Everyone wants better for themselves. I get it. If you want to go, I won't stop you. I'll pay every cent you're owed. But whoever walks out that door, Cloud's Edge Hotel will never be open to you again. I turn and walk away. The young workers stand there, frozen, staring at each other. In the end, not one of them leaves. They may not be the most loyal people in the world, but they can read the room. They know who is building something real and who is just here to tear it down. Uncle Zhao's crew holds together, but new trouble hits immediately. The next day, I receive a court summons. A green tech company I have never heard of is suing me for 1 million yuan, claiming construction noise and light pollution are damaging their precision equipment, and demanding my hotel shut down immediately. Their registered address is a plot of empty land just a few kilometers away, and there is nothing there. This is a bad faith lawsuit, plain and simple. The goal is to tie me up and drain me dry. I have no choice but to hire a lawyer. My money is already stretched thin. Now there's another massive expense. I'm sleeping 3 or 4 hours a night. During the day, I'm managing the site, keeping the crew calm, meeting with lawyers. At night, I'm driving to the city myself to restock, then coming back to check on the pit stop. The pressure is suffocating. For the first time, I start to doubt myself. My enemy has massive capital and a professional team. All I have is a small crew and sheer nerve. And then Sophie calls. Marcus, don't be afraid. I know exactly what's happening. This 3-move playbook, it's his signature. A lot of people have fallen right here, but you won't. Go outside the pit stop right now. I wipe my eyes and walk to the door, confused. Outside the pit stop on the open ground, dozens of workers just off their shift are huddled together, phones in hand. They're flooding the comment sections under every smear article. Garbage. Boss Fu's food is the cheapest and cleanest in all of Anning Town. I work at the Cloud's Edge site every day. The safety standards here are better than most big developments in the city. Anyone still spreading lies is going to answer to me. If this hotel is illegal, then there isn't a legal building anywhere in the world. Boss Fu's paperwork is all in order. We stand with Boss Fu, take down the backstabbers. Their words are rough, some of them downright filthy. But they know one thing, who has been good to them, and for that person they will stand up. Watching them, tears rise in my eyes again, this time out of gratitude. I suddenly understand. Victor G has money, a team, and tactics, but I have something he can never buy. I have the people. I take a breath and walk toward them. Zhang, everyone. Foreman Zhang sees me and breaks into a wide grin. Thank you. What for? We just can't stand watching good people get pushed around. Another worker cuts in. Boss Fu, don't be afraid. Thousands of us have your back. They lay one finger on you and we'll tear their whole operation down. I look at their faces. Rough, honest, unbreakable. Every bit of confusion and fear drains out of me. I straighten up. I dial Mr. Chen at Southern Airlines. Mr. Chen, this is Marcus Fu. You've probably seen the rumors online. I'm not here to explain myself. I just want to invite you and your evaluation team to come inspect the hotel in person anytime. And I want to make you a bet. If we pass your evaluation, I want us to sign immediately. In return, I'll give you 20% off for the first 3 years. And if we don't pass, I cover all travel costs for your entire team. I'm betting my reputation and my future. My call clearly catches Mr. Chen off guard. Mr. Fu, you've got nerve. I respect that. All right. In 3 days, I'll bring our best team. I hope you don't disappoint me. You have my word. I hang up. I go straight to Uncle Zhao. Uncle Zhao, we have 3 days to get this hotel ready to receive an evaluation team. I pour every last cent of remaining money into this sprint. I focus everything on the core areas that show the hotel's true value, presenting them perfectly. We cut all the time-consuming decorative details. I tell everyone, we are not renovating, we are fighting. The workers' energy ignites completely. Foreman Zhang and his crew volunteer without being asked. After their shifts, instead of resting, they come straight to my site. Thousands of workers from the airport project and my hotel site form an incredible bond. By day, they pour sweat into the airport. By night, they work under temporary floodlights at my site, pushing through the dark. The entire site blazes around the clock. The noise never stops. This fearless drive shocks everyone who sees it. 3 days later, when Mr. Chen leads Southern Airlines evaluation team back to my hotel, every single one of them stops at the site before them. In just a few days, the building is transformed. The core areas now carry the shape of a 5-star hotel. I lead them up to the rooftop observation terrace. Comfortable outdoor furniture is already in place. Mr. Chen, please sit. I pour a cup of hot tea for each of them. This will be Cloud's Edge Hotel's crew executive lounge. Every Southern Airlines crew member staying with us can enjoy the best view in the city and a space to truly unwind. Mr. Chen holds his cup, gazing at the massive terminal in the distance. His eyes are full of something I can only call awe. Behind him, his team fans out across the hotel with instruments, running rigorous tests. My heart is stuck in my throat. An hour later, all tests are done. The lead technical officer, a man with glasses, walks over to Mr. Chen and hands him a freshly printed report. Mr. Chen takes it and reads it carefully, very slowly. My palms are soaked. Finally, he sets it down. His eyes are sharp as he looks at me. Mr. Fu, I have to admit, you've created something remarkable. In both build quality and design, this hotel exceeds our expectations. Especially the soundproofing. Indoor noise levels are below 40 decibels. That's impressive. My heart finally drops back into my chest. To get that soundproofing right, we gave up all those time-consuming decorative details. Looking back, every sacrifice was worth it. Then Mr. Chen shifts his tone. But your hotel is still only half finished. Many supporting facilities are not yet in place. That doesn't meet our standard for a partnership. I take a deep breath, ready to lay out my backup plan. But Mr. Chen smiles. That said, I personally believe in your future. So I've decided to make a bet of my own. He reaches into his briefcase and pulls out 2 documents. One is a hotel partnership letter of intent. The other is a personal angel investment agreement. This letter of intent we can sign right now. It represents Southern Airlines' official position. It will shield you from a lot of outside pressure. Then he slides the second document across to me. As for this investment agreement, this is a personal investment in your hotel, made in my wife's name for 1 million yuan. It's to help you get through this and finish the hotel right. I'm not asking for equity. Think of it as a loan. Once the hotel is turning a profit, pay me back with interest. I never imagined he would support me like this. My voice shakes. Why? Mr. Chen takes a sip of tea. His gaze drifts far. Because I see myself in you. Young, with nothing, but willing to take on the whole world. That kind of person is rare. I don't want to watch your dream get strangled in the cradle by dirty money. My eyes sting. I stand and bow deeply. Mr. Chen, thank you. I, Marcus Fu, give you my word. I will never betray your trust. That afternoon, on the rooftop of my half-finished hotel, I sign the 1,000,000 yuan agreement. The moment my pen lifts from the page, a message from Sophie arrives. Victor G has started aggressively buying up shares in our bank on the secondary market. He's trying to force me out. I read the message, then look out at the horizon. I know, the real battle has finally begun. Mr. Chen's 1,000,000 yuan investment hits like a shot of adrenaline, pumping life back into my nearly drained cash flow. But Sophie's message lands like a bucket of ice water poured straight over my head. I know that Sophie only became a target because of me. I dial her. It rings a long time before she picks up. Her voice is drained. Marcus, I'm in a meeting. Make it quick. Are you okay? Did he? Sophie cuts me off, forcing a casual tone. I'm fine. Just normal business back and forth. Don't worry about me. I can handle it. Just build your hotel. That's the best thing you can do for me. Someone like Victor G lives and dies by results. If your project succeeds, if it proves my judgment was right, the old men on the board won't have a leg to stand on. I know she's trying to comfort me. Victor G is using his deep pockets to squeeze the entire bank. His goal is to force them to sacrifice Sophie, the one who approved my loan. I speak quietly into the phone. Sophie, I'm sorry. A silence on the other end. Then she says, we're friends. I didn't help you as an investment. I helped you because I trust you. Stop overthinking it. Stay on the plan. Remember, when you win, we all win. I've got to go. She hangs up. Friends. Trust. Those two words pressed down on my chest like a weight I can't lift. I cannot lose. Not just for the hotel. Sophie's future and Mr. Chen's trust are on the line too. I walk back to the site. Uncle Zhao and the workers are waiting anxiously. When they see me, they all ask the same thing. Marcus, what did Southern Airlines say? I push down every emotion and let a smile reach my face. They're impressed. They're signing a partnership letter of intent with us. A cheer erupts across the site. Yes, all that hard work finally paid off. I watch the joy on their open, honest faces. Right then and there I announce, double pay this month for everyone who pushed through the sprint, and a red envelope bonus for every airport worker who came to help. The next day, Mr. Chen wires the 1 million into my account. At the same time, Southern Airlines legal department sends over the signed, stamped letter of intent. With Southern Airlines official backing, the rumors about shady money and illegal construction collapse on their own. I call Director Chin right away. Director Chin, I'd like to hold a press conference under the name of the Anning Airport Construction Authority. Director Chin pauses. A press conference? About what? The official unveiling of Cloud's Edge Hotel, and the vision for a three-way partnership between the hotel, the airport, and Southern Airlines. I want every major media outlet in the city, even the province, in that room. In front of everyone, I'll lay out the full story of how this hotel was built and put Southern Airlines' letter of intent and every legal permit on full public display. Director Chin catches on instantly. You want to use their own weight against them and flip the whole narrative. I say it one word at a time. Yes, I'm done playing hide and seek. I'm putting every card on the table. If they want to make me famous, then I'll be famous on my own terms. Director Chin goes quiet for a long moment. This is a risk for him too. If anything goes wrong at the press conference, he carries the consequences. But finally, he makes his choice. All right, I'm with you. The airport project needs a partner like you. Anning Town's growth needs this kind of energy. I'll handle the media. We'll use the construction authority's conference room 3 days from now. Marcus, let's win this thing together. 3 days fly by. Director Chin's connections run deep. He brings in nearly every major media outlet in the city. At 10 in the morning, the press conference begins. I take a deep breath and walk to the podium. Members of the press, honored guests, good morning. My name is Marcus Fu, and I'm the founder of Cloud's Edge Hotel. I know there have been a lot of rumors online recently. Some say I'm mysterious, some say my money isn't clean. Others say my building is a cancer next to the airport. I'm standing here today to tell you all, none of that is true. I'm just an ordinary kid from Anning Town. My parents passed away when I was young. They left me this old house. When the entire town was cleared for demolition, my home alone was drawn outside the demolition boundary. I didn't make a scene. I just felt fate left me here for a reason. I took everything my parents left me, borrowed $300,000 from the bank, and put together $500,000 to start. I tore the old house down and rebuilt from scratch. I wanted to turn an abandoned ruin into a hotel that could serve the new airport. I named it Cloud's Edge, hoping it would rise like a plane, toward the clouds, toward something higher. My voice is steady. No drama, no performance, just facts. The story of how one young man fought with his bare hands to protect his home and chase his dream. The room goes quiet. Many reporters set down their pens and just listen. I go on. Every cent of my money is clean. The friend at the bank who approved my loan is now facing unfair attacks because of her professionalism and integrity. I look out at Sophie in the crowd. She's sitting in an inconspicuous corner, eyes slightly red. Every step of my construction is fully legal and above board. The person who oversaw the quality of my build is Director Chin of the Anning Airport Construction Authority. Director Chin gives me a nod, his eyes full of encouragement. And my hotel is no cancer, because I have already reached a preliminary strategic partnership with Mr. Chen of Southern Airlines. I turn and point to the backdrop behind me, and the letter of intent mounted on the wall. This place will become the most welcoming home away from home for Southern Airlines crews. The moment I finish, the room erupts. An official partnership with Southern Airlines. This is the biggest story of the day. Every accusation looks hollow next to that document. I gesture to Uncle Zhao and Foreman Zhang in the front row. I look out and say clearly, I have no mysterious background, just a heart that wants to do something for the place I grew up. What keeps me going is this land I love, the leaders who have supported me, the partners who believed in me, and the workers who bled and sweated alongside me. Then the press conference opens for questions. A male reporter stands up and fires a sharp question. Mr. Fu, you mentioned that your contact at the bank is being pressured because of you. I've been told that a company called Huayu Capital is currently staging a hostile acquisition of the bank where your contact works. And multiple social media accounts behind the smear campaign against you have been traced back to Huayu Capital. Do you believe this is a targeted act of commercial sabotage? Every eye in the room turns to me. I pause, then answer clearly. There are two kinds of people in this world. One kind sees value and works to create it and protect it. The other kind sees value and only thinks of taking it and tearing it down. Cloud's Edge Hotel welcomes all creators, but it will always shut its doors to greedy predators. I believe that in the light of day, under the open sky, every scheme and conspiracy will eventually be exposed. The moment I finish, the room thunders with applause. That same afternoon, the story of Cloud's Edge Hotel sweeps across every media outlet in the city. Front page, top headline. My image shifts. From a man under fire to a rising legend, an entrepreneurial pioneer, a young man who stood alone, refused to bend, and said no to unfair fate and dirty money. But the very next day after the press conference, trouble returns. Uncle Zhao rushes up to me in the morning, breathless. Marcus, we've got a problem. The hotel's water has been cut. My stomach drops. What happened? We paid the bill on time, didn't we? Uncle Zhao nods. We did, but the town water plant says the main pipe in our area needs a week of maintenance. This is the oldest trick in the local bully's book. A dirty, low-down move. Without water, the final stages of renovation come to a complete halt. Worse still, the pit stop can't run normally either. I think of Director Chin immediately, but before I can make the call, an unexpected visitor shows up at my door. My name is Wang Weiguo. I was chairman of the Hongtu Group. Hongtu Group, the name rings a bell. A once famous local real estate company, but it went under overnight a few years ago. Cash flow collapsed. Mr. Wang looks at me, his eyes carrying something heavy. I'm here to tell you something. The man pushing you to the edge, Victor G of Huayu Capital, he's the same man who destroyed me. I realize immediately, this man is not an enemy. He's a natural ally. Mr. Wang, what exactly happened? He sinks into a painful memory. I was developing a large mixed-use complex, just like you. I put in everything I had. But right when the project was almost done, Victor G appeared. He came in playing the savior. He bought out all my shares and that nearly finished project for less than 30 cents on the dollar. I went from a billionaire to a man drowning in debt overnight. His story mirrors everything I'm living through now, except his ending was far more brutal. Mr. Wang pulls a thick stack of papers from his briefcase. For years, I've been collecting evidence against him. Victor G is ruthless, but he's overconfident. A lot of his dirty dealings left a trail, all routed through an offshore shell company. He thought he was invisible, but the person who ran those operations for him back then is now someone I've placed inside his circle. This is evidence of tax evasion, records of illegal asset transfers, and proof of bribery. Any single one of these is enough to bury him. I stare at the stack of papers. My breathing quickens. This isn't evidence. This is a blade aimed straight at Victor G's throat. Mr. Wang, if you have all this, why haven't you reported it? He gives a bitter shake of his head. No use. I tried. But Victor G's network runs too deep. A bankrupt old man like me can't make a ripple. Everything I submitted disappeared without a trace. He lifts his eyes and looks straight at me. But you're different. You have the airport project and Southern Airlines behind you. You have an audience they can't ignore, influence they cannot shut down. In my hands, this blade is just scrap metal, but in yours, it might be the thing that cuts off the dragon's head. I take the heavy stack of papers. My hands tremble slightly. I understand now. Mr. Wang hasn't come asking for my help. He's come to place his last hope for justice in my hands. Just then, Director Chin calls. Marcus, I already know about the water. I've spoken to the city leadership. The mayor is furious. He's personally involved. Don't worry. Within half an hour, water and power will both be restored. Also, the Municipal Discipline Commission's investigation team has moved into Anning Town. The first person they want to talk to is Mayor Zheng. I grip the papers in my hand and listen to Director Chin's voice, my chest full of everything at once. I know, the moment to strike back has arrived. I look up. My eyes are set. I make the promise. I'm taking this blade, and I give you my word. Justice may be slow, but it always arrives. The news of the Municipal Discipline Commission moving into Anning Town spreads faster than the water notice ever did. Mayor Zhang is called in for questioning, and doesn't come out for 5 full hours. When he does, every trace of his former arrogance is gone. Half an hour later, clean water flows from the taps at my site. That night, I lock myself in my office and read through Mr. Wang's documents again and again. Victor G's crimes run far deeper than I imagined, horrifying in scope. Tax evasion, illegal asset transfers, bribery. Any one charge could put him away for life. But I know handing this over to the commission alone isn't enough. Victor G's roots go too deep, his network too tangled. I have to nail him in a way he can't wriggle free from, with evidence so airtight there's no room for argument. So I call Sophie. Sophie, I need you to connect me with a provincial media outlet, completely trustworthy, serious reach. Sophie catches on immediately. You're going to expose him? I look out the window. Mayor Zhang's office building sits dark in the night. No, I'm going to put him on trial. There's a producer at the provincial TV station's Focus and Expose program, a senior from my university, a man of principle. He has zero tolerance for corruption in the financial world. Their show is the highest rated investigative program in the province. Nobody they go after walks away clean. He's the one. I pull one sheet from the stack. It's a clear record of Victor G manipulating stock prices through an offshore shell company, nearly 100 million yuan in illegal gains. I don't play all my cards at once. Against a fox like Victor G, you peel the layers back one by one, like an onion, making him feel the slow, creeping dread. I send the document by encrypted email to the Focus and Expose team. No name, just one line at the end. This is only the beginning. 2 days later, the show airs on schedule. The title hits like a punch. The 100 billion capital conspiracy, Victor G's secret empire. The episode moves like a thriller, armed with hard data and anonymous expert interviews, pulling apart the evidence I provided piece by piece, laying it bare in front of millions of viewers across the province. The anchor delivers cold, sharp questions. Why has our financial market become a personal ATM for people who answer to no one? Why has our regulatory system turned a blind eye to crimes this clear? I know, Victor G's end has begun. That same night, Huayu Capital's website crashes under furious investor comments. The next day, Huayu Capital stock opens and hits the floor. Sell orders pour down like a waterfall, sealing every exit. Victor G's phone explodes. Demands for answers, fury, investors pulling out, partners breaking contracts. The commercial empire he spent years building begins showing cracks within a single weekend. And the final straw comes from Anning Town. On the 3rd day of his isolation and questioning, Mayor Zheng finally breaks under the pressure. He gives up Victor G. Everything. How they plotted to take my land. How much he was paid. Every dirty thing he did. The investigation team quickly traces him and Victor G's brother to Anning Airside Services Limited. In the end, Mayor Zhang is formally handed over to the justice system. That evening, the pit stop closes early. The workers have all gone back to the dorms. I'm staying late in the office to check the accounts for a new shipment of materials. Uncle Zhao refuses to leave me alone and stays with me. He stares out at the pouring rain. Marcus, something feels wrong tonight. I've got a bad feeling. I feel it too. A restless unease I can't explain. Then the office door slams open. The night security guard bursts in, face white with panic. Boss, Uncle Zhao, we've got a problem. A gang just showed up, all carrying weapons. They're smashing everything and beating anyone in their way. We can't hold them back. Uncle Zhao shoots to his feet, grabbing the shovel by the wall. These guys actually want to die. My blood runs cold, but I force myself calm. Uncle Zhao, call the police. The guard shakes. No time. They smashed all our phones. Looks like they want to destroy the whole site. I know instantly. This time Victor G is playing for real. These are not random thugs. They're hired professionals. Their goal is maximum damage, a serious accident. If the site is wrecked or someone dies, my hotel is finished for good. I make the call in an instant. Uncle Zhao, take your people and hold the main gate. Don't fight them head on, just stall. Marcus, what about you? I'm going for backup. I step outside. The sound of shattering glass and shouting reaches me from the hotel building. A dozen figures in black swing knives and iron bars, tearing apart the glass curtain wall I just had installed. Then, blinding headlights flare up behind me. An unlicensed black van is racing straight at me. They want to kill me. My mind goes blank. In a split second, Foreman Zhang throws himself at me from the side. He shoves me clear. Boss, run! Foreman Zhang's body is thrown through the air like a rag doll. The van doesn't stop. It accelerates and vanishes into the rainy dark. I scream, scrambling to his side on hands and knees. Zhang! He looks up at me, weak, but still smiling. Go, get out of here! My tears in the rain blur together. I can't go. If I go, what happens to Uncle Zhao and the others? If I go, Zhang's blood means nothing. A rage I have never felt before surges up from somewhere deep inside me. I look up at the men still smashing and tearing apart my hotel. My eyes go cold as ice. I don't go to my own car. I turn and run toward the dormant bulldozer in the corner of the site, the one Foreman Zhang had taught me to drive. I fire it up. The iron giant wakes in the rain, releasing a deafening roar. Every single thug freezes at the sound. I drive forward, slow but with a force that cannot be stopped. One of them screams, "He's insane! He's completely insane!" Pure terror. They scatter in every direction. I don't chase them. Then a dozen police cars tear through the rainy night, red and blue lights blazing. Director Chin and Sophie jump out of the first car. They see Foreman Zhang lying in a pool of blood. They see the destruction everywhere, and they see me sitting in the bulldozer cab. Sophie runs under the cab. Her voice shakes. Marcus, are you okay? Get down, please. I leap down from the high cab and fall hard into her arms. Sophie, they tried to kill me. She holds me tight, her voice breaking. I know. It's over now. It's over. I know it isn't over. Between Victor G and me from this night forward, this is a fight to the finish. Foreman Zhang is rushed to the best hospital in the city. The doctor says he lost a lot of blood and his left leg is fractured. He needs surgery immediately, but his life is not in danger. I keep watch in the hospital corridor. The image of Zhang being thrown into the air keeps replaying in my mind. Sophie takes off her jacket and drapes it over my shoulders. Director Chen stands nearby making call after call. Mr. Chen has heard everything. He uses his connections at Southern Airlines to push the province hard, demanding a full investigation and no mercy. Victor G's attack cost me dearly, but it also shattered every unspoken agreement and rule of engagement. He made enemies of everyone. The police move through the night. The dozen hired thugs are picked up at checkpoints on every road out of town. The unlicensed van that hit Zhang is found at an abandoned quarry. Under interrogation, with evidence stacked against them and pressure closing in, the men quickly give up their employer, Victor G's most trusted assistant, the man who carried out every dirty job for him. When police come knocking, the assistant takes his own life rather than face justice. He thought that would let him slip away clean. He underestimated me. He also underestimated what Mr. Wong had handed me. I walk over to Sophie and Director Chin. Sophie, get me the producer at Focus and Expose. Director Chin set up a meeting with the Municipal Discipline Commission. The next morning, I make 2 copies of Mr. Wong's full dossier. One I deliver personally to the Focus and Expose team at the provincial TV station. The other I hand to the top official at the Municipal Discipline Commission. What follows is an anti-corruption storm that sweeps through the province's financial and political world. The Focus and Expose team spends a full week producing a 1-hour episode that breaks every viewership record. Victor G's network of protection is torn out by the roots. Every shield he had is gone. Tax authorities, securities regulators, and police all move at once. Every asset under Victor G's name is frozen. Huayu Capital is shut down completely. An empire that once ruled the financial world crumbles in days gone, reduced to dust. Everyone who helped me through this is there. I look out at Anning International Airport in the distance, now officially open and buzzing with life. I don't give any grand speech. I just bow deeply. Thank you, all of you. Above the clouds, there is me, and there is all of you. The top floor of the hotel is still that same observation terrace, only now it has become the most prized and most beautiful view in all of Anning Town. Sophie walks over, hands me a glass of champagne, and smiles. Look at you, Mr. Success. You know what, Marcus? What you did goes far beyond building a hotel. You changed this place. You changed a lot of people. I laugh. I look at my hotel. Lights blazing, full of guests. I know, the abandoned orphan has finally found where he belongs. Victor G's replacement is a middle-aged official sent down from the city, named Secretary Zhao. I attend Anningtown's Future Development Planning Forum as a representative of young entrepreneurs. The meeting runs all morning. Secretary Zhao heaps on the praise. Mr. Fu's Cloud's Edge Hotel has set an example for all of us. It proves that on this land, with the right vision and the right courage, you can grow something world-class. Everything we plan going forward should measure itself against Cloud's Edge Hotel. We want to make this a place that draws investment, a place where talented people are proud to stay. At the end of the meeting, Secretary Zhao grips my hand and says sincerely, Mr. Fu, the town wronged you in the past. The future of this town needs you to lead it. Whatever you need, just say the word. We will back you completely. I look at the light in his eyes and I know. Anningtown's spring has finally arrived. Business at the hotel takes off. Beyond Southern Airlines, crews from other airlines start seeking us out. Business conferences and industry forums flock to the hotel. Let's Meet at Cloud's Edge becomes the new standard for the city's business crowd. And the pit stop is not forgotten. I give it a full upgrade. It becomes a semi-open food court. It keeps its down-to-earth prices and its rough-edged energy, and becomes the late-night destination of choice for airport ground staff and local residents alike. I officially bring Uncle Zhao on as head of engineering, overseeing all facilities and maintenance. The workers become the technical backbone across every department, each one dressed in a crisp new uniform, a full-time employee of a five-star hotel. Mr. Wang comes to visit. The moment he sees me, he bows deeply. Mr. Fu, thank you. You gave me a second chance. I reach out to stop him from bowing. Mr. Wang, you're giving me too much credit. I only did what needed to be done. It was the blade you handed me that gave me the chance to cut through the darkness. He tells me he plans to use the money he recovered to set up a legal aid fund, dedicated to helping entrepreneurs who have been crushed by the same kind of predatory capital that came after us. He pats my shoulder, a quiet pride in his voice. I'm too old to keep fighting, but this world, going forward, belongs to people like you. I walk him out of the hotel and watch his back, no longer hunched, spine straight again, disappear into the crowd. I know, an old era has ended. The hotel runs like clockwork. For the first time, I have a little time to myself. The first thing I do is move Foreman Zhang out of a standard ward and into the best very important person recovery suite in the city hospital. Every expense is on me. When I visit, he's lying in bed. The moment he sees me, he nearly sits up in excitement. Boss Fu, why did you come all this way? This little scratch isn't worth your time. I set a bunch of flowers on his bedside table. Zhang, this is not a little scratch. You took a hit that was meant for me. The doctor says your leg is healing well, but you'll need a long recovery. Rest here and don't worry about a thing. Your pay keeps coming and every medical bill is on me. This man who never complains, this tough northern man, chokes up like a child. Boss Fu, it was worth it. I pat his shoulder and say, from now on, I'll be the one protecting our home. After I leave the hospital, Sophie calls. The Cloud's Edge hotel loan she approved has become a celebrated success story at the head office. Far from facing any punishment, she's been given an exceptional promotion, the youngest branch manager in the bank's history. She laughs on the phone. Mr. Fu, are you free tonight? I want to take you to dinner. Where did you have in mind? The presidential suite at Cloud's Edge. That evening, I have the kitchen prepare the finest dinner possible and send it up to the presidential suite on the top floor. That's the room I've kept reserved for Sophie, never listed, never available to anyone else. From the terrace, you can see the entire airside new district at night. When Sophie sees me arrive, she smiles. The view here is still the best anywhere. I grin. Of course it is. Whose place do you think this is? We don't talk about work. We don't revisit the terrifying things we've been through. We sit like two old friends who haven't seen each other in too long, drinking tea, talking about nothing in particular. Then she looks at me very seriously. Marcus, do you remember? When you decided to build the hotel, I told you, once it opened, you'd owe me a lifetime stay in the presidential suite, for free. I nod. I'm making good on that promise. Sophie laughs at herself. Honestly, I was joking back then. At the time I thought you'd lost your mind. 500,000 yuan to build a hotel. In the ruins, everyone else had fled. I didn't believe you could actually pull it off. I helped you because I couldn't stand watching you lose everything. I was even prepared to cover part of the losses myself. I listen quietly, without a word. She goes on. You turned an impossible dream into something real. You're so much stronger than I ever imagined. She stands up and walks to where I'm sitting. So today I want to change my request. I don't want the presidential suite anymore. I look up. I look at her face. Close enough to touch. My heart picks up. Then what do you want? She doesn't answer. She just leans in slowly and kisses me. Then she holds me, voice low and trembling. Marcus, I want you, not the suite. You. My tears fall without warning again. I smile and nod hard. Yes. That night, we talk for hours about everything we want the future to hold. Before long, the second anniversary of Anning International Airport's opening arrives. It is also the 2-year anniversary of Cloud's Edge Hotel. Business leaders, government officials, and honored guests fill the venue. I'm in a tailored black suit, Sophie on my arm, standing at the entrance of the ballroom, welcoming every arriving guest. Sophie has officially left the bank and become CEO of Cloud's Edge Group. She handles every complex business matter, freeing me to focus on the group's strategic direction. Director Chin is here too. He's now chairman of the Airside New District Management Committee, the undisputed head of this new city. He spots me and laughs. Mr. Fu, you're the biggest money magnet in the whole district. Mr. Chen has flown in from Guangzhou especially for tonight. He's now vice president of Southern Airlines. He pulls me into a big hug the moment we meet. Marcus, the best investment I've ever made was the one I made on that rooftop 2 years ago. That 1 million. Uncle Zhao and Foreman Zhang are standing right behind me. One is head of engineering, the other is head of security. When the banquet begins, I take the stage as host. 2 years ago, I stood on this ground, and all that was under my feet was rubble. I thought the whole whole world had left me behind. But today I stand here, and beneath my feet is the beating heart of the most vibrant district in all of Airside New City. What I want to say is this. What defines our worth has never been which side of the line someone drew us out on. It has always been where we choose to draw our own starting line. When the world walks away from you, you can choose to win it back. My speech is short, but it earns the loudest applause of the night. The banquet is still going, but I take Sophie's hand and we slip away quietly. We change into casual clothes and walk through the park like any ordinary couple. The park is full of children laughing and playing, older people walking and stretching. I spot a familiar face. Auntie Lee, pushing her little grandson on the slide. She sees me too. Her expression stiffens. You've really made it big now. Before, I ran my mouth too much. Please don't hold it against me. I shake my head without a second thought. It's all in the past. Her grandson runs over and stares up at me, curious. Auntie Lee quickly says, "This is the pride of our new district, Mr. Fu from Cloud's Edge Hotel. When you grow up, be just as successful as him." I smile, pull a candy from my pocket, and hand it to the boy. We walk on. We reach the spot where my old home once stood. Now it's part of the hotel. A beautiful open garden. Sophie and I settle close together on a bench in the garden. Far in the distance, a massive plane is slowly descending, landing on the runway, its light streaking across the night sky like a falling star. Sophie turns to me. "Marcus, have you ever had any regrets?" I look at the plane touching down smooth and steady. I look at the 10,000 lights glowing in the distance. I look at the person beside me, the one I love, and I say quietly, "Not once."